Good. Okay, good. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, having me here today. Okay, so plus we're going to recite Namo Tassa Bhagavata Arahato 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully Enlightened One. So, thank you so much today invitation that for our Bhikkhuni Shakyadita and allowing me to do this session. And also I really appreciate that all of you here giving your valuable time. So especially when it comes to rainy retreat time period, it is a very important time period for all of us. Because this is the time that we all put our attention to inner practice. Like this is the time every year, this is the season that we get upgrade ourselves. So look at the nature that every year that through the seasons, the nature upgrade. And look at this, all the consumer product and the machines, technology, everything. Every year kind of like, twice a time they upgrade. When they upgrade, what happens? There is a warning come sometimes that you cannot get your old version anymore. So save your files if you have any important things, because anymore you're not going to access to that, right? So like that in our life, rainy retreat time period is a kind of like we are upgrading to ourselves. That's why when two monks come together, they ask how many vassa that you observe. So it doesn't matter your biological age. It's a vassa, how many rainy retreat you practice. So if one monk say, oh, I practice now 20 rainy retreats, and if other monk say, oh, I am practicing now this 15th year, this 15th one, have to respect to that 20th one. So like that, it's a kind of like a spiritual practice aging. So yourself also have to remember that this is always, it is our personal responsibility to look into us and every day remind ourselves, rethink ourselves, evaluate ourselves, and who we are and what I am doing and where I am heading. So that is very necessary for all of us. So I hope this session will help you to have a little bit open window for yourself to see that beyond your limits. Because when it comes to that, opening that window is not easy. We all are kind of like hold it to self-centered views. That self-centered view make us more comfortable, safe, and secure, and sometimes it give us a kind of like a very, very pleasure for us to be with us. But get out of is not easy. So that itself, being with that our self-centered view and nourishing ourselves and pampering ourselves and comforting ourselves itself is called the samsara. So dharma is a kind of like something try to open you to little bit look around, because otherwise sometimes it like invisible walls is very difficult to break. So our self-centered views, our self-centered ideas, our own culture, tradition, believing system, the way we study, our family background, our friends, and sometimes what we used to keep doing, and sometimes build up invisible walls around us. So that's why once a while it is important yourself to look and evaluate yourself. So I hope this time will help for you to do that. So remember, another thing is, it's dharma is kind of like light. That's why when the enlightenment happened in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the Buddha mentioned light arose. We are like the seed. So if you put a seed into the ground, that seed, just imagine any seed that you can do a kind of like a homework. Look at the seed, physically try to touch it and see it. It's all covered. You have no idea. Looking from outside, you have no idea when this seed going to become tree, which place going to break first. Okay. So when you put it to the ground, it may take few days, and when it take few days, it's settling down. And after that settle down, that settling down is allowing this entire earth to hold it. Okay, just try to expand your mind. Just imagine this earth, the underneath this ground has so much pressure. Okay, so that's why when the earthquakes happens, look at how this that this all these material things can destroy, because that much pressure, even it's a kind of like magnitude 7 8 is the maximum that we experience here and there. Just imagine, in case if you come to like 10 12 like that, maybe everything become liquid. So but see that seed allowing that entire earth pressure to go through it. Okay, and then finally it start to open in one place, a little crack. Just imagine if that seed didn't get that little crack, that seed by the time going to waste. But if that seed allowing that pressure to go through and get that little crack, what happens? That is the beginning of the growth. Then it's developing to sprout, and little by little, 1 leaves, 2 leaves, 3 leaves, day by day. And when it grow in dark, not in sunlight. We use, in my childhood, I used to go to do farming with my father. Early morning when you go, you can see how it grow at night. Okay, so same, we the same. Okay, remember when you practice, okay, so you have to allow your seed to settle down, and allow that all the pressure to go through you, because this biologically, that developing a current, it's a huge, we have no idea how strong that current is. So when you sit, you are surrendered to it, allowing it to flow through you without holding, without maintaining, without grasping, without interfering or involving with it. You are 100% head to toes to each and every cell. You are allowing to settle down. Try it. Even just 1 minute, you're going to completely come to a different, level. You reborn again completely, because most of time when it comes to practice, so kind of like that, we are trying to manipulate the energy, the flow. We are trying to interfere, involving with that flow to do something the way we want. So withdraw from that self-centered interference is a very, very, very powerful. So that's why every day try yourself, when it come to practice yourself, listening or doing something, see, are you interfering, or are you trying to make something happen the way you want, or are you 100% completely surrendered? So what I want to tell, that little crack, you get, allow you to grow. Just imagine the huge tree, like in your area, like the olive trees, or sometimes in here the oak trees, they are very powerful. They have different nature. They have very different kind of skill to deal with the nature. They are so sensitive and powerful to understand the wind, the rain, the sun, the heat. They are so capable to understand. But still, that all come out of that little crack or the opening from the beginning that seed had. If that seed didn't get that opening, this anything not going to happen. So the thing is this here, sometimes our effort should be to get that little crack opening, because we are so close day by day. And today, and as you know, look, when it come to this social media, okay, that because we are living in information era. So with the YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, so you mean whatever, WhatsApp, so everything. So information means that whatever the information coming from east, west, north, south, that's why it's called news, all the 4 letters, news. Northwest is east, west, north, south. Because news is important. It allows you to understand what is happening around you. That was the very purpose of creating news, informations. But today what happened, it flipped, it went to the other side. Today what happened, rather than getting the what is happening in the news, everybody putting so much information to this network. See that? Rather than getting the valuable information out of the media, out of all the social network, what happened? Everybody putting, the way they eat, the way they sleep, the way they, brushing teeth, doing makeup and fighting each other and blaming each other and their opinion. It's so much. Just imagine how many information keep coming, how many new, posts every day keep coming. It's unimaginable. And that most of, junk, keep coming to this uh, network. So then, with this, all the information, get exactly the whatever the information that you need and allowing you to open is very, very difficult now. Because now most of the information that whatever we watch, whatever we see, whatever we hear, this everything, what it does, it allows that seed to, become more closer, 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 rather than trying to open it. So then it is your responsibility. You have to be very careful now. Okay, you have to have a very clear, strong self-discipline, because now when it comes to that, when in Dharma, as you know, the Kalyana Mitra is the foundation for the liberation, the good friends. Because then whatever the whoever the friends around us, okay, it allow us to get into the Dharma. So then now it is very important the people you follow. Okay, even maybe you never saw that person, and maybe you have no idea who is behind the picture or the the screen or the video, but if you try to follow that person, what happened? Maybe you click one time follow button. You know what happened after that? Even you die, that video keep following you. You know. Just imagine you click only one time, follow. It doesn't matter then, until you unfollow that person, every day, that whatever that person keep doing, whatever that person, put opinion to the social media, it all going to follow you. And not only that, that following give you a validation to the society around you to, to bring it up. So then you have to be very careful. So that's why finding that opening window or opening space yourself in your spiritual path, or even your personal life, or even in your social activities, that getting that right opening space yourself is a very, 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 risky part nowadays. So that's why listening to Dhamma, having discussions and finding the right path is important. So that's why it is very important for all of us to go back to the very beginning, and kind of like in Zen meditation, it says the beginner's mind. We go back to the Buddha's teaching and see what the really Buddha taught. So that's very important now. And you always have to look into yourself, because we can mesmerize by informations or whatever we see around us, or whatever, things come to us very easily. That's our human nature. Okay, we are not Superman or Superwoman. You have to understand, we are just human beings. Very simply, we are just a very organic, raw level of, we are human. Okay, so that we have to understand. Anything, we can go into any direction. That is where you develop your awareness. You become very careful. You not to try. You don't try anything. You don't watch anything. You don't do anything, because anytime, maybe if the current is high, it can take you that way. So that is itself a kind of like you developing self-discipline. So that's why when you go to the very beginning and know the origin of the Buddha's teaching, the very beginning message, and every day if you are capable to remind it, and hold it to, this kind of like, it give you a kind of like a clear foundation for you. Because in this time period, as human beings, we have to understand we are living in a very, very, kind of like a, we have to be so grateful to this life that we go through. Okay, so but at the same time, you have to remember, this is going to go very fast. This time, this life, not going to be forever, every day. Okay, our eyes by the time, within another few years, we cannot see, we cannot hear, we cannot smell, we cannot taste, and maybe we cannot walk ourselves, and maybe you have to just lie down there and sit there, wait, maybe your whole memory can disappear. It can happen. you know I used to have a family very close to me. It's like my mother and father, they used to, like every month I used to go and visit them, and they used to tell everything to me about their life, and I was trying to help them by this. So that mother, by the time she had a kind of like a physical difficulties, you know and now she's in an elder care home. So I went to visit her. She cannot recognize me. She asked me, "Who are you?" You know, she can walk and do everything. She look very nice, and everybody take care of her. And I was, you know, uh, I have seen that, but at the same time, it remind me, you know, the life is very risky. Okay. And when you have this opportunity, that when I talk to you, you can hear and you can understand, you can think, and that is the greatest, highest miracle that can happen in this world. There is no, better, higher, beautiful miracle than that. So then at the same time, then out of that miracle, look how many years it keep happening to us. You know, sometimes we think, oh, I am very unlucky, I am very unhappy, I am, that things may be very difficult for me, kind of like sometimes we we are not happy about us. When situations come, when things go up and down in life, sometimes we take it personal and we blame to ourselves. you know and look at that, with this everything, sometimes the suicide rate going higher in the world more than any other time. Why? Because people are taking a lot of things very personally, but they cannot see the miracle keep happening. you know we can see, we can hear, smell, taste, feel, we can talk, and those are, you know it cannot replace by anything. So then every day you have to remember, appreciate it, and put it to the highest place in your life, and always try to take care it as much as you can, and at the same time knowingly it's not going to be there forever. So that way you will get the best out of it. And at the same time, of course, things happening around us. So we are in the world. We came to this world, and this world has conditions. you know that's why that that eight worldly conditions, labo, alabo, aiso, yaso, ninda, prasansa, sukhancha, dukkha. Whenever you have time, go and look. you know Eight worldly conditions in the world, in the Buddha's teaching. So we are entered to this world, and the world has that conditions, not us. So when we are in the world, we have to accept it. So not to personalize it. So that way you are capable to create the environment around you to little bit appreciate and settle down and be with this all without resisting, without kind of like trying to change. you know so with that, when it come to the Buddha's teaching, so we have to go back to the very beginning and see that as Prince Siddhartha, he had a very luxurious life, and with that luxurious life, that what he used to enjoy everything, and at the same time he start to see a very old person, sick person, dead person, and then he start to think. what is this life? What is the ultimate truth around us? Because when it comes to the Buddha's teaching from the history, we can see that it says there are two things he used to investigate. King Satya Gavesi, King Kusala Gavesi. What is the ultimate truth? What is really profitable? Those are the two things that he used to look, search. So out of that voyage, out of that research, he found out the Dharma. So remember then, what is the ultimate truth? What is the most profitable? Other all information gathered around these two things, okay? So when it comes to that, what he taught today, after this 2600 years, okay? And sometimes people come, oh, Buddha said this, maybe it is wrong, or Tripitaka said this, or maybe it is wrong. Remember this, it came through 2600 years. The vibration is so high when it comes to the Dharma. And it has many turbulence. And it went through, many tornadoes, hurricanes on the way in this journey. Because it came, it very recently it came to books. It was orally memorizing and sacrificing entire their life to protect the Dharma. Okay, so listen this very carefully, okay, and try to understand what I'm trying to tell you. So when it comes to Dharma, just imagine, it's not like us, it's not like a morning, you go to the gym, evening, you go to the market, and, at night you go to party, and then late night you watch movies, and then later you recite Dharma. It's not like that. And it is not a kind of like us, that sometimes life doesn't have purpose, or we don't know what to do. It's not like that. There were people, there were monks, there were ascetics, there were kings, ministers, millionaires. It's not like us today millionaire. Today millionaire, stock market high, you become millionaire. Tomorrow, you go in zero. It's not like that time. That time the millionaire is the millionaire. Gold is pure gold. So like that. They were very organic, authentic. Okay. And they used to have everything. It's not kind of like ignorance people. They were millionaires, very educated people. They went to schools and they learned many years, sacrifice everything and learn everything. And after that, they came to the Dhamma and they found out and they give up that all. Kings used to give up the kingdom, and all the millionaires used to throw that all the money and came to Dharma and became monks and start to recite the Dharma. Just imagine how it possible. If we lost our wallet, we searching and, throwing everything here and there, we try to find that $10, $20, what happened to it. But that time, just imagine the millionaires open the doors and allowing all the village people to come, take whatever you want. And they left and became monks. The kings, opened all the gates and, took his throne and put it in the chair, and he left the palace without coming back to it. And they went to Dharma and memorized it, recite it, and practiced it, and gave to the very next generation. That's how this Dharma came. It's not came by mistake to you, okay? There were millions monks sacrificed behind this. And at the same time, they practice it, they get the best out of it, and that's how they share to the next newcomers. That's how it came. So then remember, whatever in Tripitaka, if you read something, at least try to respect it. Because If it was wrong, it never going to come so far like this through this all the human life. Because humans, they are very difficult. Okay, you cannot teach anything to people if there is no value. There should be something good for them. Otherwise, how it comes so far? Just imagine how dharma come like this so far in this journey. And then after 1,000 years like that ago, it put it to books, palm leaves written down. And that also after 7 years, strong drought went through, and most of the monks died and some monks disappeared. And then other senior monks thought, hey, if this happen in the future, this is going to disappear. It's better to put it to the, record, tree leaves, palm leaves. That's how it came. So then remember yourself, whatever in Tripitaka, there is a reason. Maybe we cannot see it. But if it is in that, learn to respect it. Don't try to argue about it, because we don't have that enough wisdom to argue for that. Let it be there. But at the same time, that doesn't mean, oh, whatever in the Tripitaka you should, believe. But when it comes to the faith related to the Buddha, if the Buddha said something, if you heard the Buddha said this, and then you have to understand, if it is in the Tripitaka, if you still have the doubt about it, that doesn't mean you are smart. That means you have to work with your faith. There's some problem with your faith. Because otherwise, if it is in the Tripitaka, if it is the Buddha said, if still you have the doubt, and try to investigate, try to look into yourself and see that whatever you thought in your life, this is the best for me, I am right, kind of like that. We all went through in our life. That's how I learn always, look in ourselves. Sometimes we thought, oh, this is the best, or this is the good for me, I like this. But after few days, I understood that is the most, ignorance decision I took in my life. That's not the right thing. So like that, when it come to ourselves, always we have to remember, we go through like that, dust carrying with us. So with that, how we can sometimes argue about the Tripitaka. So that's why I always, try to go back to the Tripitaka and try to read. And today we are so fortunate, it has in many ways, many languages, many ways, and try to go and see what the Buddha taught. Of course, nothing wrong that you listening to, the monks or the teachers or the gurus and, very famous people and, very popular things, it's okay. But at the same time, keep a little space and look what the Buddha taught about this. And so you are not my follower. We all are Buddha's follower. Okay, so then my responsibility should be not to make you are my follower. No, my responsibility should be to direct you towards the Buddha's follower. That is where you going to get the best to yourself. That should be my responsibility. Okay. So that's why I am telling to you, go back to the Tripitaka and see what the Buddha taught. And so when it come to that, when I went to the Buddha's, the Tripitaka, and when I found out what the Buddha taught, and sometimes people don't talk about it. So that's why I am telling, hey, Buddha didn't talk about it. Buddha taught this. So When it comes to that, what is the really Buddha taught then? What the Buddha taught is life is suffering. Okay? And look, when it comes to that, how many arguments about in the world about that? How many monks, even how many, the very educated people, how many kind of like very famous people try to, cover it up with very nice, fancy words and telling, uh, oh, suffering doesn't mean this, or Buddha never taught that way, or it is not the Western suffering, it's the Eastern suffering is something. Oh, we afraid to say that. But when it come to personally yourself, look, what is the real thing in our life? Suffering is the only real thing in our life. Not even the happiness. Happiness sometimes, of course, it come. You know, it's kind of like the fireworks. Okay, it make you beautiful. The sky make it beautiful for a moment. And it may create the unseen pattern for very few seconds, but it disappear. So like that in happiness, you all are matured people, you know so just look yourself, how many times you became happy in your life, how many times you came to wow moments in your life, but what happened to it? And at the same time, look at how many people try to surprise others, but still they try to give the best things and make other people happy, but after that still they have some kind of doubt, right? That's why they ask, are you happy now? What's wrong with you? Why you can't be happy? See, the happiness not sustainable like that. But when it comes to suffering, the pain is the real thing. Okay? That is what the Buddha taught. That's why you have to attain to the nirvana, because this is never going to end. Sansara. So wherever how many times you come here, this is the bottom level of this whole existence, suffering. If you not agree to that, maybe you not suffer yet enough. You will find it on the way. But at least you are fortunate to hear about it. So just keep going, enjoy your life. It's okay, nothing wrong with this anything. You keep enjoying until you suffer. But when the day you understand, hey, this is suffering, then you know there is a way to exit for my life. So look at ourselves, because when the suffering come, it exactly catch you at the right time, and there's no way that no one can help. There's no way to escape from it. It always come at the right moment and catch you. Okay, there's no way to kind of like cover it up. And other thing is, it's very 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 secure place, and when you suffer, it's very personal. No one knows, no one, you may cannot tell to anybody. It doesn't matter, husband, the wife, the children, friends and family members, the brothers, sisters, 911 or emergency call, nothing going to work when the suffering come to you. That is the truth. So if you know that, then something going to happen. But if you don't know it, that is where the real game going to play. So that's why we do everything in life, believing, oh, I can do this, I know how to do this, and look ourselves. When the suffering come, we have no idea how it's going to come to you. The only real thing in this world is suffering. That is the very real thing. Because when the suffering come, nobody need to ask, hey, are you suffering? you know. You know, there's no doubt. It's like somebody asks, are you happy now? You know, when the suffering comes, you know, nobody need to ask, hey, are you suffering? No, you going to go through it. You know, that is what the Buddha taught. Don't afraid to think about it. Don't afraid to talk about it. Because in the Western world sometimes think this kind of suffering, this idea, you know, doesn't motivate like the death. You know, there is a huge, you know, argument in the world, especially it came from the West. They think the death never motivate people. Okay, but in Buddha's teaching, the death is something, you know, highly motivate us. We have a meditation, you know, reminding, thinking about our own death. We know when we know we are going to die, you know, that going to become the best antidote for the procrastination, you know, and you're going to become more better person. You know, when you know you one day you will die, you know, you're going to get out of a lot of unnecessary things. So same like when it comes to suffering, it is just not only just the pain, it is the process. This is what you have to understand. So then remember, that is the very bottom. If there is no suffering, you no need to attain to nirvana. You know, you can keep going. You can find many shortcut, and you know, when the situation come, you can bypass it and you can keep going. But what the Buddha said, wherever you go, there's no way to escape from this. So then why this suffering is at the bottom level? Because when it comes to the very key foundation of the Buddha's teaching, and he found out this is, and because remember that his research used to be with two things: what is the ultimate truth, what is profitable. So now he found out what is ultimate truth. Ultimate truth is the suffering. So why we suffer? Suffering arises because of three worldly conditions: impermanence, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness. Those are inherent, universal qualities carrying with everything. So no need to put it to outside world. So you have to look into yourself and see. So whatever that you experience head to toes within your own body, within your form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition. So remember, when it comes to the world, there are two worlds. One world is this outside world or the universe. The other one is this inner world or the inner universe related to form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition. So whatever you experience with the form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition, with these five aggregates, that going to become your world. This is the world that the Buddha talk about. Because according to this form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition, that whatever outside world going to change. So then always remember, this is about you, your experience as who you are. This is yourself. So impermanent. Look into yourself and see that when it comes to breathing, that is the very core foundation of this our body. Each and every cell in our body depending on breathing. Each and every organs depending on the breathing. All the blood vessels and the blood circular system, that everything, all the muscles depending on breathing, air. And all the nourishment depending on the breathing. The brain, your nerve system, this everything depending on breathing. That is the very key nutrition for the body, breathing. Then just look From where the breathing come? It come from outside. So when you observe the inhalation, exhalation, whenever you have time, do homework. Go to the Anapanasati Sutta. And there are 16 steps that you have to observe and recognize with the observing inhalation, exhalation. In that, in the beginning, the 4 steps, one of the steps is calming down the body, inhalation, exhalation happens. Calming down the mind, inhalation, exhalation happens. So when you keep observe the very inhalation, exhalation, you are capable to recognize the entire body and the mind depending on the inhalation, exhalation. And not only that, when you keep observe, another thing happens. You are capable to recognize the body, the mind, breathing, interconnected. They depending each other. The mind depend according to the condition of the body. The body depend according to the condition of the breathing. The breathing depending according to the condition of the body or the mind. So kind of like it interconnected. When the body, mind, the breathing come together, settle down together, that is where we call the samadhi, tranquility state. Because then there is no separation, there is no dualistic mind, there is no name and form you can separate, because the body, mind, breathing all together. So anyhow, this body depending from something outside. One is the breathing, and other one is the food. So all the food, digestible, changeable. So then just imagine, we are depending from changeable food. Out of that, how we can develop unchangeable body? It cannot happen. Basic science, From dependable things, you cannot create an undependable one. From changeable things, you cannot create unchangeable one. From changeable things, always you're going to create the changeable things. So like that, we are depending from changeable things. That's why this body change. That's why this mind change. Because the mind arises out of eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, consciousness. So this all coming from changeable process. Your eye change, ear change, nose, tongue, this body every day, it's all vibration. It's energy. It's a flow. It's like a flux. It's like a river. It's like the wind. It's always moving. So out of that create a rhythm, and that create the experience. When it come to the eye, so it's a vibration. It's always vibrate. It never solid or concrete or unchangeable. When it come to ear, each and every sound create a different frequency, a vibration inside eardrum. So that is where you recognize the different sounds. So if that eardrum create the same unchangeable sound, then you go crazy. You cannot kind of like live as an ordinary person. The tongue the same, if the tongue start to create the same taste, your body, whole body going to get weak, and within few days, you completely become different person. The tongue. So this it's a vibrating always. That create this life. The skin, head to toes, the skin the same. Each and every bones the same. The entire our body always vibrating. So that is where this moment of experience arise. So basically, that is the physical change. And other thing is, when it come to the The impermanence, that impermanence, that doesn't mean this outside change in a certain way. The basically what the Buddha taught as impermanent, form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition that happening in you always change. There is no form, no solid moment of experience. It's always change. So that is where that you cannot find unchangeable solid experience, because the change itself creates the consciousness. Consciousness is not a something solid and experience the change. Try to understand this. Be with me. Consciousness arise with not separating from the experience, and consciousness is not a kind of like something solid and stay away from the experience and experience it. No. The consciousness itself is the arising of the change. When the change happen, that where the consciousness arise. So then what can do? If the change doesn't happen, your consciousness not going to be there. So then whatever that you experience itself is the change. So that's why whatever come to you as your experience, it never going to be there. Why? Because it arises as a result of the change. You are the change. So change is the bliss. So change is the miracle. The change is the life. And the consciousness is the very result of change. If there is no change, no consciousness then. Impermanence. An unsatisfactory nature. So out of the change, now you know the consciousness arises as a result of the change. And once the change arises, once the consciousness arises with the change, and sometimes on the top of that, when the desire arises, remember the desire responsible for the consciousness, because desire arises from the on the top of the consciousness. So the consciousness is always changing, and as a result of that, maybe the desire arise. But if you are forgetting the consciousness and hold it to desire, doesn't mean the desire going to, do what the consciousness not going to do what the desire want. It never going to happen. It always, moving. So when that happens, sometimes disappointment comes. But why it comes? Because we think when the desires arise, when the experience arise, we mesmerize from that experience and we forget how that experience came to be as experience. And then we hold it to it. So unsatisfactory nature, and then we trying to bring it back. But it never going to happen, because whatever the desire arise as a result of consciousness. That the desire is a child of the consciousness. Consciousness is a child of the change. So, unsatisfactory nature, and then the selflessness. So the selflessness here is deeper level within any eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, or form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition. Within this anything, that whatever that happening in you, there is no any independent, unchangeable, solid self within anything. This everything arises as a result of cause and effect. So that is where these three universal signs govern this all: impermanence, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness. That is the very bottom level of our form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition. It is about this human body, you. It is about you. That is the very mechanism of you. That is the blueprint of you. Form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition, that arise as a result of impermanence, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness. So if you arise because of that, then it always not going to be there. So that is where this the suffering govern this all. The suffering is a kind of like one word for this whole process. That is where it like a multivitamin tablet. Suffering is a one word for this all. So just imagine when it comes to multivitamin tablet, all the vitamins you can break down to, details. But it's a one tablet. So like that, the suffering is a word that give you the total understanding about the form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition. But what the mistake happens, rather than understanding and see what are the inside information or the details, or rather than breaking it down, we just try to fight with that word. We try to address to that word. We try to, understand only that word. So without breaking down it to parts, if you just try to go crazy with, or if you like just thinking, oh, I like vitamins, that doesn't mean you understand what is multivitamin. So like that, what happened by the time the word suffering slowly start to shift, and then people try to cover it up, and people don't want to tell the truth, because the truth is very difficult. Truth is not for everybody. Okay, just imagine in day-to-day life, we don't tell the truth, even for our husband, wife, children, friends and family members, brothers, sisters, or the partners. And sometimes it is real truth, and maybe with the great compassion, maybe you think that if this know that other person, maybe that person cannot understand or cannot bear it, cannot handle it. And sometimes just imagine, in case just a very image, this immediate family members died, or very kind of like something, when you want to tell something, how you tell? You don't go and just tell, this person dead, or kind of like, no. Something happened, kind of like, you take time. So like that, remember, truth you cannot tell to everybody. They go crazy. They cannot handle it. Oh, nice thing. It's not like giving candy to children. Because that is the ultimate truth. You have to be matured. You have to have some kind of experience to understand it. And then deeper, you have to have some kind of desire to understand. Because sometimes we say, I don't want to hear that. Sometimes we say, I don't want to hear it. See, that when another person don't want to hear, can you tell? No. So like that, sometimes people, don't want to hear the truth. They know there is truth, but they don't, this is not the time for that. This is not the time for that. So like that, the truth not for everybody. So don't try to tell it to everyone. It's not going to work. Maybe you get tired or maybe you get disappointed. But at the same time, it is for you. It's not for others. Plus, it's for you. Try to get it 100% to yourself and understand it. Absorb it to yourself. Absorb it to your system. Know it deeper and go into the deeper each and every, kind of like a atom in your body. Because after you get that, it never going to disappear from you. Because it liberate you. For truth is the one make you free, liberate you. And once you understand it, even you die, you're going to born with that. So that is the beauty, that is the good thing with it. So then, if this everything is suffering, why it is suffering? It because of this everything means form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition. And what is why it is happening like that way? Because it always depending from something. And impermanence, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness is the very universal science that you can see. So that is where the Buddha taught about this cause and effect, causation, cause and conditions, everything. Remember in your life, do some homework. Nothing exists itself. Everything is the result of many other things. Okay, just imagine today with this, the computer or the cell phone or the iPad or whatever that you use, it is not one single thing. This moment of experience come to us. Okay, look at the power should be available. Okay, so when it come to power, look at that from here or in your area. Sometimes I hear the power cut, right? So in your area, that entire crew, that all the company, the wires, the every power poles and the transform, everything should work at this very moment exactly to the 100%. Just imagine it's a huge process. And then when it comes to that device that you gain, you watch this, that device, whoever make it, somewhere make it, and many different people used to make it from maybe different parts, came together and assemble it as one unit. And then you plug it and you just imagine that one person didn't do it properly and kind of like after few months, it's going to break down or like that. Maybe if it is the last moment, for your device, this moment, what will happen? You're not going to experience it. That is from material side. And even just look around yourself, your friends, family members, brothers, sisters, whoever around. Maybe if they call you, or maybe if they came to you, or kind of like suddenly something happened, you cannot experience this. That's all from outside. Even just from imagine inside, from your lungs, heart, liver, kidneys, your spine, nerve system, your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, this whole system. You have no idea what this is and you have no power over it. But that all should work together to come to this moment of experience. So then maybe you say, I have a Zoom meeting, or I was listening to Zoom meeting. Do you think it's a one thing? No, it's out of, trillions conditions came together to have this moment of experience. That much huge, this causation, cause and conditions theory. Nothing exists itself independent. Nothing happens itself independently. So then when it comes to situations, always remember, don't take it as a kind of like a one incident. Look, maybe it appear as one at the moment, but it come as a result of many things. Look around, learn to look around. So in that way, you start to, open a little bit. So from that point, then what the Buddha taught the next. So the life is suffering. And what is the meaning here? Life means it's everything, when it comes to the basically that our birth to death, this everything. And wherever we go and whatever we become, that all belong to life. That all, never going to bring us any kind of fundamental, unchangeable, solid, very sustainable happiness or satisfaction. Bottom line, it's suffering. Why it's suffering like that way? It because come to experience as a result of change. Impermanence, unsatisfactory nature, selflessness. Why it arises like that way? Because of cause and conditions. Everything depending from many things. Maybe you see only few, but there are many other things. And from that, even that it can go to from this point to universe even. Just imagine in this very moment, we are sitting here in this earth, so the sun, moon, and other planets around us, this planetary system. So we all are moving and the gravity is holding all the planets, right? So then just imagine in case that far away the sun or the moon or another planet suddenly, blow out or the disappear. As a earth, we cannot be here in like this way. Then the earth going to go out of balance and it going to change the rhythm of the moving. Then we cannot be here like this way. We will be going to vanish, disappear. See, then for this moment of experience come as a result of this entire universe. That much it can expand. Okay, so somehow from that point, what is how then we can exist from this? Where the exit? How we can get out of this? So that they are what the Buddha mentioned about awareness, sati, or the mindfulness. So that is the only safe place or the skill that you have. So I will minimize for you to remember in your whole life or to pass it to anybody. Life is suffering, there is no escape. Don't try it, okay? Because it is so strong. We are kind of like a Lilliput, okay, in front of that worldly nature. Life is suffering. Don't challenge it, okay? Learn to accept it, be humble about it, and learn to be with it. It's a good lesson because we are human beings, okay? When you are very immune to suffering, so life is going to be totally different. Okay, suffering is pain, suffering. So you mean whatever, it's okay. Learn to be with it, accept it, appreciate it. Don't challenge for it. I give you another thing. Remember it. Okay, never challenge suffering. Take it as an invitation. Your whole life going to change. I repeat it. Remember it. Write it down somewhere. Remember it. Read it every day like a sutra, like a mantra that like a, kind of, mantra that, bring you happiness. you know, Suffering, never challenge for the suffering. Take it as an invitation. Your life going to change. Try it. Okay. So never try to change it. A lot of people think, oh, you can change this suffering. No, never tried because you have very limited time here. Okay, all the Buddhas, look at how many Buddhas, All the Buddhas tell the same thing, and eons by eons this keep coming, and White say like that. Okay, so because that is the ultimate truth. So remember it. So then what the Buddha told? Be mindful. So life is suffering, and the solution is not helping others, doing this, that, and telling sweet words and try to cover up things, or kind of like, doing head massage to people. It never going to work in real life. Okay, it may work for a moment, but later they all going to know that you did harm to them. But if you tell the truth, even for the moment, it's going to be difficult, but by the time, you know, they will know, they will respect you because you told the truth. So awareness is the only key to get out of the suffering. There's no any other. That's why Buddha said, Ekayano ayamaggo satipatthana. There's no two ways, okay? It is only one way. That one way is being mindful. Once you know life is suffering, and if you develop the mindfulness, when you develop the mindfulness, when the suffering come, what happened? When you are able to suffer, you accept it. You never resist it. You accept it. You go through it, knowing it's a part of the journey. It's like the river. I give a simple analogy or the example for you to understand how it's going to change your mind. Just imagine a river, okay? When it comes from the mountain, and it kind of like a waterfalls, maybe the dark, like the dark forest, no people there, and maybe the muddy places, or maybe the wild animals, or maybe the beautiful landscape, or maybe kind of like a desert, or maybe through the paddy field, or maybe that river go through the city, or maybe people jump, and lot of people gather around the river. So kind of like the river, the journey come through many different ways. But that water, when that water meet the ocean, the river never going to blame to that anything or appreciate that anything. It's just a part of the journey. And when the river meet the ocean, that all become kind of like a part of the journey. The same like yourself. When you become mindful, you never resist anything. That you become like the cloud, you become like the mountain, you become like the wind, because it never tried it like this. Okay, the river never want to be a mountain, no, never struggle to become a mountain. The mountain never want to become a cloud. It never try it. And the cloud never want to be a tree. The tree never want to be the wind. Wind never want to be the rain. But when it come to life, we live with the river, the mountain, the cloud, the tree, the wind, the rain. This all part of our life. We appreciate that each and everything because it's the mountain. We go to the mountain, we know, oh, there's a mountain. You go there, beautiful mountain. We appreciate it. When it comes to tree, oh, this is the tree. This tree is very good. You plant this tree, it goes this kind of thing. You appreciate it. When you see the cloud, you never try to hate it. Just imagine from baby to the elders, beggars to the king, everybody like the rainbow. Can you think about it? Sometimes it's like it's just a rainbow. Everybody like it. Nobody hate the rainbow. Have you ever heard anybody hate rainbow? No. When you become mindful, you become like that. You allow everything to be there as it is, and you appreciate it. That's the beautiful experience that you can experience in this very lifetime. That is where you shift this suffering rather than struggling, because you cannot struggle with it. You cannot wrestling with suffering. It's going to be there. So then once you accept it and appreciate it, but you become mindful, because no one can challenge for your mindfulness. Remember, when you are not mindful, anything can happen. But when you become mindful, in this entire universe come to your palm. So that is a kind of something that you have to practice. So from the childhood, we never practice mindfulness. We used to play with toys, we used to go here and there. We used to always look outside, and we used to depend from outside things. So like that's the habit that we used to build inside us. So because of that, what happened, this skill of being mindful, we didn't practice, and it slowly shifted away from us. It disappeared from us. So that's why now we need time to practice, little by little, little by little. So then yourself remember and try to practice mindfulness. Be aware. Because when you practice mindfulness, what happens? You're going to just see it. That is another something you never heard in Buddhism. Remember, in Buddhism, in Buddha's teaching, most of time, he didn't say don't do things. Okay, that's for children. For adults, for matured people, you cannot tell don't do this, don't do that. No. Buddha never said don't do those things. What the Buddha taught? Buddha said pajanati. Just know it. That's it. Just know. Look, go into the Satipatthana Sutta, do your homework and see what what it says. When the pain arises, whatever the thought arises, anger arises, hatred arises, whatever that, anything arises, whatever appear, what the Buddha said, don't do, no. Pachana, just know it. Why? When you just know it, what happens? And when you try to not to do, what happens? Okay, so listen this very carefully and try to break it down, because if you understand it, it will help for you. When you try to not to do something, you already have self-centered view about it. I don't like it, because of that I don't do it. Okay, so that self-centered view not to do something has a history, background. That's where what we call the sanskara, or the mental formations, or the cankers, your history. That maybe that history has some kind of, that the things that you never understood, and you have no idea how it happened to you or why it happened to you. Or maybe you went through some kind of disappointment, and maybe because of that you don't do it like this way. So as example, simple example, like someone can say, like when it comes to five precepts, someone can say, oh, I practice 5 precepts. I don't do things. So if you go back to that, somebody taught you, don't do this, don't do that, kind of like that way, and you listen to it. And not to killing. We don't kill people most of time. Most of people don't kill people because they're afraid. Otherwise, a lot of time people want to kill people. And not the most of time that unknown people. Most of time, a lot of people want to kill the people they know, the people they love. Why? Because the people who are close to them, the people they love them, that is why they get hurt. When they get hurt, and sometimes they say, I want to kill this person. How many times mentally we used to kill most of our loved ones? So, but we don't do it. Okay, we don't do it. And the most of time, if you ask from a lot of people, they're afraid to do it. But see, you don't do because you are afraid to do. That doesn't make any sense. That is not developing a profitable skill. See that what is the ultimate truth and what is profitable for you. That is the Buddha's question was. So not doing something doesn't mean you good. But why? Because the reason not to do that, you may have your self-centered view about it. Maybe that view came from your personal experience. You're afraid, you're tired, or maybe you don't know how to do, or maybe you hate it, or maybe you went through bad experience because of that. Now you don't do it, or kind of like that. So in day-to-day life, if we are motivated not to do things, it never make your mind sharp or the clear. But for children, for a certain level, in conventional level, as a society, when we grow in that, for that social life, to make other people comfortable, for everybody's safety, of course, we have to follow that things. But here, when you practice with your form, feeling, perception, volition, recognition, when you practice with yourself, not doing something doesn't work for you, because your sanskara or the mental formations or the cankers, it may catch you from some another way and get it. That's how it is. Maybe you don't like broccoli, but that dislikeness going to satisfy you eating potato. That's how your system work. Try to understand it. And then you go, oh, I don't eat broccoli, oh, I hate it. But that doesn't mean your system neutralize. No, because you eat a lot of potato, oh, I like potato. So that's how we are. Look into yourself and try to analyze your old behavior. You will see that maybe you don't do certain things, but somehow your system get it from somewhere else. So not doing something is different, but the pajanati is totally different skill, and it is so profitable for you. Pajanati means what? Just know it. Because when you just know it, you know what happens. Your entire cankers, mental formations, the sanskara, the current, the habitual patterns that you used to build from the samsara neutralize. Why? Because you don't react. You just drop the pattern, you neutralize, and in that very moment, you just know it, because the reaction is the samsara. Remember, doing reactions, action, reaction, result, action, reaction, result. So we are addicted to react. But pajanati, when there is a sensation arise, You just know it. You just know it. You don't criticize it. You don't try to appreciate it. You just know it. When the sound comes, you just know it. So you practice with yourself, knowing it. So then that will help you to have the clarity. Because when the mind withdraw from the cankers or the mental formations or the repetition or the sanskara, that is where the mind becomes super clear. That is where you get the superpower. And that is where you can see things as it is, not from the past experience help, not backup through the backup piles through that you went through. You capable to see things as it is. And that is where you're going to recognize how things come to be as they are. And that is where the untanglement happens. In the moment, within the moment that what you experience. So that is the mechanism. So bhajanati. So to know, you have to practice so hard. Why? Because we are addicted to react with the mental opinions, with the physical actions in many ways. We are addicted to react. We want to do something. We want to do something. Do something. That's why even just, just you go somewhere and you ask other person, say something, and just imagine you go to a place, it's so calm, relaxed, no sound and everything, kind of like so, as it is. And then you think, oh, maybe something going to happen, maybe earthquake, maybe, you know, because it looked like not normal. Because our normal life means everything move, busy, everybody say something, everybody do something. It's kind of like that. So that's why bhajanati, you have to practice to brush up yourself, because we never did it. But it's okay. It's a good journey for all of us to just think a little bit and practice yourself and know it. So you can do it with your physical body first. That's why in the contemplating the pain or even the breathing is the best. Just it. Inhalation, exhalation, it. You don't do it. And at the same time, whenever you have time, look at the tree, just know it, just wait. And don't try to label things, don't try to add comments on it. Oh, it's a beautiful tree, oh, I like it, oh, it will look like this. No, just tree. It's a mountain, just know it. Cloud, just know it. So like that, add to outside. Animals, sometimes it's very difficult from the beginning, because some people have behavior to like animal. Their behavior sometimes disturb people, but little by little you can know. And when you practice, if you hear a sound, don't label it, don't try to put a name on it, just a sound, that's it. And don't try to have a inner conversation about it. So like that, you drop that, the inner voice, just let it as sound. Smell, it's a smell. So sensation, it's a sensation. So like that, first learn to know bhajanati. Remember, Buddha, it's very rarely, somewhere maybe very personally for some people to maybe Buddha said, don't do this, conventional. But in Dharma, it never say don't do. It say bhajanati. To say don't do things, Buddha no need for us. For our own, when you have the bhajanati, just know, you know what happens. Yourself, you know what to do and what not to do, because you are the one who going to get the experience out of it. So then you become your own master. You become your own teacher. Other people no need to say, don't do this, don't do this. You know yourself, I no need to do this. I no need to do that. That developing a self-satisfaction, self-experience, self-discipline. With that self-discipline and self-satisfaction, you gain self-confidence. So with that self-confidence, you are capable to go deeper, deeper, deeper into yourself with the practice. And one day, you will find the ultimate freedom or the liberation as what the Buddha taught. Okay, so that is what I want to tell today. So is there any question? And you no need to, you no need to accept this. Okay, so we are always remember, it is not, I am not here come as a monk and try to preach you something. I don't do that. Okay, I just try to share something with you fairly for yourself to think. And you can argue about it. Okay, you can do some homework and see what it is, because we are talking to a lot of people every day. We go here and there. We are especially in LA. We always work with the other faith people, faith leaders. Most of people who ever come, they don't have any idea about Buddhism. And we cannot cheat people. We cannot say lie to people. We cannot just mesmerize, and we cannot say nice things to people. It doesn't work in life. Look at our parents used to say all the nice things to us, but end of the day, sometimes it's not going to help us. And that's why some say, just stop saying nice things to me, give me some money. Because just saying something nice doesn't work end of the day. So like that in life, we cannot play with people. Okay, we cannot play with our mind. Don't do that. Okay, be honest to yourself and try to understand. And so because when you understand that, and when you become honest to yourself, that's where wherever you go and you talk to somebody, and you can tell the truth, and it may going to help for them. Okay, and at the same time, remember, it is not for everybody. Okay, so if you have any question related to that what we talked today, okay, and you can open to that, and you can, because it's important to be very clear. So you no need to believe it, and you no need to follow this anything. I just say it through my experience, and I always do my best. So if anything doesn't work for you, it's okay. But in case in this life journey, because we all have to walk ourselves. So in this life journey, in case one day if you get stuck, remember that what I told, and it may going to help you to find the exit from that situation. So with that, bless you all. Okay. So, okay, so Sakyadita Bhikkhuni, so you can.
Oh, your mic is off. Your mic is off.
Yeah, it's okay.
Please, if anyone have any questions, now is a good opportunity to ask Venerable Shanta.
So, Venerable, thank you for the talk. So I just want to make sure that I understood your point. So how I understood it is that we should welcome suffering will come, and what our response to that can be struggle, or we can welcome it. We can notice it and be mindful and welcome it, and that is the appropriate maybe response to that suffering. Did I get it right?
Yeah, welcoming means take it as an invitation.
Okay. And
Okay.
by
Take
invitation,
yeah. Take it at the invitation for you to go into a very new space, or kind of like a new experience. That's a very, because that way you put value on that whatever the situation or the suffering or the environment, because we always like go to become new or go to a new experience. So sometimes because most of time people resist suffering or the pain or situation, it we think it going to create the same situation, same thing again. But when you think it kind of like invitation for you to go to a new situation, you okay with that. Otherwise, just imagine if some person come and every day say something blah blah blah, and when that person come and start say, oh, you start again, kind of like we don't want to go back to that, right? But it is something new. Okay. you know so like that. Yeah, you are right. Okay, you got it. Yeah. Mm.
so is it like being curious? So when suffering comes, instead of resisting it or automatically saying no, maybe being open and curious, like being mindful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any other question? Everyone, I think everyone is enlightened. Okay, Adushka wants the question. I think she's on the bus, so she just says, "Give me a minute." Maybe she's going to get off the bus or something. Yes. Okay.
While we're waiting for Dushka, I can also say that I enjoy the part where you say that when we are mindful, we are noticing, we can appreciate things. We notice. We had talked yesterday with Venerable Sakirita about how you when you're mindful tend to notice the things you maybe didn't notice, and you tend to appreciate them. For example, I tend to appreciate engineering, like the great engineering that got into my house, because I'm engineer by profession, so I tend to be more mindful of that, and that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? I'm outdoors. It's a bit noisy. Yeah. Okay. So I would just like to thank you for the opportunity to enjoy this miraculous moment of us being together, as you said. And I wanted to ask you, since I kind of have an opportunity to be in touch with a lot of people who are just like beginners into Buddhism or interested, or how do you like narrow this down, everything you said today, for people who are not really very deep into it? I would just, as far as I'm concerned, I would just start with pointing out mindfulness, any kind of practice of mindfulness for the beginners, and then slowly getting into circles, or do you just hit them immediately with the suffering? Or just start practicing mindfulness as a beginner's practice to open yourself up to everything else?
Okay, so generally, we can teach people in certain ways to do little exercise and mindfulness practice. Okay, but at the same time, we have to understand that everybody is different. They have different background. Okay, they are coming from a different current, which sometimes we have no idea, you know. So unless if that person look or want to find the path or the teachings or the practice, it's very difficult for us to teach some. We cannot teach, okay? We cannot teach. And so only thing we can share with the good heart for someone to do something, and sometimes maybe you can have a personal conversation and help them to sharing that the information about life, okay, so that what you know out of your experience. And maybe first it is very important to understand before even teaching. It's like simply if I put like this, okay, we all try to look how to practice meditation, how to attain to nibbana, how to attain to enlightenment. Everybody like it, but there are very few people look why you want to attain to enlightenment, or why you want to attain to nirvana, or why you want to practice meditation, you know. So like that, when you have that, you know, anybody around, try to first have a kind of like a little understanding about their background, or kind of like their lifestyle, you know, in what kind of environment, you know, around them. And so in that way, maybe you can help in basically for them to first understand about little bit the life. Or maybe the most of time what happens, difficulties, situations, and the hard times, all that go through, most of time the person also holds certain kind of, you know, magnet to absorb that things around that person. Okay, maybe you, if you can find that and help that person to drop that magnet, and it will help for that person, you know, because we all are. Remember, if anybody come to you and tell, oh, you know, this happened to me, that happened to me, this person did to me this, there's no way, without any reason, you know, within ourselves, there's no way the people are going to come and, you know, do something, unless we have a previous karma, you know. But most of time when it comes to social situations, environment, we also part of it. We don't see it. So in that way, you can help for them to understand it and help them to change themselves, because then once that person start to change, and slowly the things going to change around, you know. So teachings kind of like a basic, you know, loving kindness meditation, and practicing the breathing meditation, anapanasati. So those kind of things you can help them, you know, teach them, kind of like giving some little tools. And if you sometimes, for some people, so as example, you know, sometimes people come and they start to tell their problems, but they are wise, you know. I never met that people before, but I know that person is very matured and wise, and looking for real solution for them. For that person, without telling anything, you know, I just tell, life is suffering, just accept it. Don't try to wrestling with it, don't try to change it, don't try to, life is suffering, accept it, and do your best without any comparison. Whenever you want to do something, without hoping anything, you know, without expecting anything. Do your best knowingly life is suffering. It's for all of us. And they understand. But it's not going to work for everybody. Some people get so mad, you know. Some people get so mad if I tell like that way. So it is better not to tell it, you know. So then how to, try to tell them in a kind of like something else to do. And so that's why it's better try to understand the background of the person a little bit and have a proper conversation. And first try to have a clear conversation. Okay, that's the best place to start. Listen this very carefully and try to get it. First, whoever, try to understand, try to have a clear conversation. If you feel that through that conversation you cannot understand that person, or if that person is not opening to you, if that person don't tell the truth to you, or if that person don't want to explain about them, don't try to say anything. Don't try to say anything. You can't. It's better, let's go and have some coffee. So you do something, let's go for a walk, or maybe you can talk something else. Don't try to say anything. If you understand, if that person is tell you the truth, and if you because that person have the desire to to find something, then you can work from that place. But if you don't understand that person, don't try to say, because maybe it go wrong. It go wrong. Just imagine, that's the thing. If we cannot understand something, and just by guessing or thinking, assumption doesn't work when it comes to people. Assuming things we cannot say. So that's why you have to have a clear conversation. Sometimes people come, they try to tell. So I keep asking, and until I get clear where that person, in that position, whatever. If that person don't tell that, if I feel kind of that he don't want to tell, sometimes they say, I don't want to tell about it. Right away I say, I cannot help you. Because you don't want to tell, so that's mean I cannot understand it. So then how I can help? Because I am still not enlightened to read your mind or what's going on. So it is better, let's stop here, let's have a drink, cup of tea. So like that. Work with that is the most difficult part when it comes to people. Work with people. That's why, they become a Buddha to talk to people. For us, we cannot do sometimes. We have to become a Buddha to talk to people, because that is the most difficult, the part in the world. Deal with people, deal with
I have to
animals.
work harder on myself.
Huh?
I have to work harder on myself to be better with working.
Deal with animals, deal with nature, deal with machines, everything. Oh, we can do that. But when it comes to people, oh, that's not something, Okay, so that's why.
Venerable. Very helpful.
Yeah.
Anything, Theodora? Any questions?
Beautiful teaching, but no questions today.
Okay, great. So shall we finish the discussion? Is that
Okay
okay?
then, huh? Okay. Mm.
All the
So,
best.
So, thank you very much, Bhikkhuni Sakyadita, and all the the listeners today join with us. I really appreciate all of your time and giving me this opportunity. So, by the power of this practice, may everyone stay healthy and safe. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Bless you, huh?
Thank you, Venerable Shanta, for giving your time for us today. And thank you to Dushka, Alex, Theodora, and I know Esteban joined us for a short time. And may all who listen to this Dhamma talk, may it help them on their journey. And by the blessings of this Dhamma talk, we wish you the best in your life, Venerable Shanta. May you reach enlightenment in this very lifetime. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much. Bless you all. Your mic is off, Ravina. Your mic is off, Venerable.
Yeah, okay then. Thank you very much for everyone. Okay, bless you. Huh?
Bless you. Bye-bye.